What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video, as you can see in the title, is talking about money or pride. What do players actually play for? You know, when we watched it, well, when I watched rugby growing up, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, older or younger than me, have also witnessed it, you've always seen the pride and passion when a rugby player gets to play their debut. Now this can be a debut for provincial, Super Rugby, Pro 14, whatever it may be. But the biggest debut of a career for a rugby player is always that international game. The game where you can represent your country. And where do we see it the best is when the anthems come up. You see them holding one another arm in arm, and these players start to feel that passion. Whether it's a away game or a home game, you can feel the energy within an anthem, and it is absolutely electric. It is one of the special occasions that I love to witness. If I'm watching any international rugby game, I don't care who it is or who it's against, I want to watch the anthems first. If I don't watch the anthems, it's not the same vibe for me, because I want to feel that electricity watching this anthem, watching the players, and mainly the players' reactions. Now, one of the reasons why I love Argentinian rugby so dearly, as well as Italian rugby, is because of the passion that these guys show when the anthems are being played. Some get teary, some get quite passionately emotional, and it just brings me so much excitement for the game because of what those guys are feeling, representing their country. Now, I've seen it in South Africa a few times. Geo Upland's a very strong one. He debuted, I think his first game was in PE, my hometown, and it was against England. When they were singing the anthem, when they got to in South Africa, our land, he shouted it with all the emotion in the world. And it was a powerful moment for him because it marked the opportunity to play for your country. We've seen it in many other players. For example, Nathan Sharp in the 2003 World Cup final against England. He was very emotional because it's the last opportunity to get this it's a once in a lifetime opportunity being in a final, and that emotion is strong. You see it sometimes with Rory Best for Ireland. I mean, you see it in lots of players. But what I'm getting at, that is what us as fans enjoy, and it shows us how much it means to them to play for their country. Now, 2019 is the biggest year of rugby. We've witnessed an amazing Six Nations tournament. We're still seeing Pro 14 continue, as well as the Champions Cup, the Gallagher Premiership, and the Super Rugby competition. We're seeing a lot of exciting rugby. Now, in these little provincial tournaments, not little, huge provincial tournaments, we are witnessing players really giving it their absolute all because they want that golden opportunity to play in the World Cup. They are trying to give it their absolute all to get that moment, to get that final glory of being in the World Cup, playing on the grandest rugby stage of them all. And then we get the Rugby Championship, and then obviously the big daddy of them all. So there's a lot of rugby in this year, and we're seeing it. But there's also a lot of drama this year. And why I say drama is because we've witnessed the news of the Nations Championship. And a lot of people are unhappy with this tournament because all you really hear about it is money. Billions being thrown in. TV deals that are huge. Amazing opportunity to bring rugby, or to bring money, money into the various rugby nations. Now that's great. But the goal at the end of the day should be, and World Rugby really needs to get this focused, what are they doing to prevent injuries? That's a big situation we are facing at the moment because so much rugby is being played. What are we doing to secure players enjoying the game, playing for the love of the game and not for the love of money? You know, you put in all these opportunities, and we're sadly seeing it. As a South African, I see it often in sport because our exchange rate is terrible compared to the England. So like one pound there is, I think, 18 rand here. So 18 pounds there, you know, work that kind of money out. I think the Japan yen's not too bad either. But all our guys want to go play in Europe because of the pound or the euro. It's such a big difference, and these guys have an opportunity to earn great money. And as great as that is, it takes away the pride opportunity, and players are leaving. We're talking about the exodus of various rugby nations. New Zealand are going to be hit with a huge one because there's so much talk of players that are going to go play, be it Japan or be it in Europe. South Africa are also next to hit a massive exodus because the ruling's been dropped, and although I'm okay-ish with it, it's taking away the opportunity of growing up in your province, playing rugby for your provincial team, getting that opportunity to go further, maybe play Super Rugby, and then go into international level. It was all about the dream and that circle, the system to get through, and it gets thrown away because money's been offered. I mean, I look at the Sharks team because that's my rugby team. We are losing so many players this coming year. Robert de Preer, all the de Preers actually, they were all going. Akafana going. We're losing amazing talent because this rule has been lifted, which, fine, good for these guys. Go for the opportunities. Go, reach for gold. But it's just taking away every opportunity here. And I think it's sad because we're throwing away things to reduce and to suit others in order to create this big nations championship. Now, I think it will definitely keep players interested in playing international rugby because you bring in more money in. But I'm worried about injuries, concerns. I mean, why are players shortening their careers to go overseas? It's because of the money. They are nervous to get injured and careers destroyed, and now they have to find a job or whatever it may be, go into commentary, refereeing. You never know. Patrick Lambie, a good example. This guy had so much potential, and unfortunately with all the concussions, he just didn't get back in it. So he decided to go overseas, finish his career there, and unfortunately that was cut short. But it's those kind of things that are sitting on players' minds. How long do I have left? Do I have enough time to go overseas, make some good dough for my family and friends or family, and then retire and live happily ever after? Respect for doing that, and good on you, because you want to support your family. But it just takes away that whole pride. The pride, the love, the passion, the emotion of playing for your respective country. And I think it's sad that we're losing it, because we are talking, there's so much drama going on in world rugby at the moment. There's a lot of good, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of drama because players are leaving for money. Big opportunities, big money's getting thrown at certain rugby players because they're such good talent. But because of that, they disappear and their careers get shortened, or especially on an international level. So it's an interesting conundrum, this, that I think is getting us all, I don't know, some upset, some happy, some excited. Look, I love provincial rugby. I love it, and I'm happy Super Rugby is alive and well again. But I do feel it needs to be reduced, which apparently is going to happen in 2021, with the fact that the Sunwolves are going back to the original round robin stage, which I'm very happy about. I'm gutted for the Sunwolves, I really am. I think they've shown a long way and come a long way in the Super Rugby campaign, but I'm glad we're treading back a bit to go back to what it originally was, so we can get back, because I hated the conference system. I thought it was a load of rubbish because it didn't give the opportunity for example, Hurricanes second in the New Zealand conference, but yet they were higher than the top teams on conference 2 and 3. So they got dropped back. They never got the opportunity to get that home semi-final and all that stuff. This, however, allows that, and that's important, and I think that might excite rugby players. But I'm digressing and changing the subject, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts, and I know a lot of you agree with me, and I'm sure some will disagree with me. What are we playing for? Passion or pride? Maybe I'm going overboard on this. Maybe it's all about playing for the game, no matter what, and getting that earning, getting that income in. Or are we actually going away from the pride? And it's international rugby is starting to fade away, and the provincial level is going to get up. I'm all for development of rugby. I'm all for changing things up. I love the idea of the Nations Championship, but I also going to miss the idea of June and November international. So I'm mixed, and what I really want is to bring back the pride back in the game, reduce injuries, and focus on what's important. And what's important is the sport. The game of rugby, the game we love to watch, and the game those players love to play. And I think that's an important message that World Rugby really need to think about, because if they don't handle these situations and continue to cause this chaos of the Six Nations unions are getting upset and all that jazz, if the drama carries on, we're going to see teams pulling out of these amazing tournaments that have so much history, and it's just going to fall apart, which is going to be really, really sad. I want it to be back to where it was, the great old traditional, amazing pride, passion, excitement. You see it still in Six Nations, you really do, but in the Southern Hemisphere we're losing it a bit. We don't always have a full house unless it's New Zealand and South Africa, or maybe the bled is low. What are we doing to better these situations? Is Rugby Championship or the Nations Championship the answer? Or is it reducing the Super Rugby? Or is it putting more, or dividing it up, putting European teams in Southern Hemisphere and some Southern Hemisphere teams into the European leagues, mixing it up, spicing it up? I don't know, but that's going to be World Rugby's biggest thing to think about, because they need to figure out how to bring the sport, rugby, back to the fans and trigger us to want to desperately go back into those stadiums. I remember days when I knew I was going to watch the Springboks play when I was younger. I couldn't sleep the next night because I was so damn excited. We need that excitement in our children's children, in our parents, in our uncles, aunts, cousins. We need it around us so we can create the sport we know and love and develop it the right way for everyone to enjoy and love. Gain. Maybe I'm talking the biggest load of crap and you think I'm totally off topic, but I want to see the pride back in rugby and the passion back in rugby. I don't want to see players playing for money. And that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you think about in the comment section down below. Let me know why and if you agree and why you don't agree. And if you agree with these guys going overseas to play, why do you agree? Because that is the key here that I want to know about, and then maybe I'll develop another topic to discuss from that. But today's video is all and importantly around pride or money. Answer the poll above and I'll be curious to see what you guys think. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new here and haven't yet subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe so you can keep up to date with all future uploads. We got so much more to come, guys, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and don't go anywhere. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.